Hi there everyone, we're taking a look at 5 reasons I wish I could but can't accept Christianity. And today we're looking at I wish I could but can't accept Christianity because the Bible is restrictive. It's restrictive. It ties us down. We've lived recently with so many restrictions, haven't we, on our lives? And often we see that the same way with the Bible. We think, well, the Bible is restrictive, it's Victorian, it's just there to spoil our fun and hold us back. Now, all of this whole subject depends on our view of freedom. What kind of freedom are we longing for? What kind of freedom do we believe in? And that is a big, big philosophical topic, and it's too big for us, and we're not going to take a look at that now. But I want you to imagine a parent with a child. I'm a parent, I've got a couple of young children. Imagine, I say to them, look, you can play in the garden, but you're not allowed outside the gate. Now, outside the gate, there's a busy road, there's all sorts of other dangers out there as well. They're only little kids. But in the garden, that's fine. You can play in the garden, here's the toys, do as you please, enjoy the toys and the space in our garden. Well, hopefully, I would hope that those are the loving, freeing, caring, benevolent actions of a loving parent. Putting restrictions in place for the good of the child, knowing what's best for them, giving them freedoms, but also imposing some boundaries for their own safety, for their own good. And if we take for granted for a moment the idea that God created the world that we live in, well then if he did create the world that we live in, he probably knows best, doesn't he? He probably knows what's best for us, what's good for us, what will be for our flourishing and our development and our general societal good. If he made the world, then his blueprint for how life works in the world is probably worth examining, and it's probably worth following. I want you to imagine a whale stranded on a beach. I don't know if you've ever seen that before, but a whale stranded on a beach. Why is that not good? And why is that whale not free? Well, that situation is not good, and that whale is not free because it's not in the habitat and the conditions and the constraints that it was made for. The whale is made to swim in the sea, and when it does, it's totally free because it's living within the habitat and environment and constraints that it has been designed to live in. And that's a bit like us. There are certain perimeters and boundaries and constraints and restrictions which are good for us, and within them we're wonderfully, gloriously free. You might want to also take a look at history. Those who have, if you like, been most restricted by the Bible have been most free and freed up to bring about human flourishing. The Bible, if you like, has given us colour. It's given us culture and art and architecture and music. And Christianity itself is a global religion. It doesn't squash cultures, but it embraces cultural diversity, and it can live within different cultural settings, and that's why it's global. It's very freeing. It's very permissive. And above all, it promises a true, deep, lasting freedom. So keep listening.